Hey world, it's Ben when we come back with another video. Family, I just want to say thank you guys for sharing, and subscribing to the videos. I hope this food for thought is beneficial. And based on the comments, like I said, it's number love. I really enjoy reading your comments and getting your feedback from the things that we are discussing in the garden. Um, Tonight, I just wanted to kind of piggyback on what I talked about earlier today. If you can get a chance, check that video out. They digging into our pockets. And I just watched Trump today say that they're going to bail out the airline industry and the vacation cruise industry, just like they did the banking industry. And so it's going to be pretty fascinating to see how many, people, actually respond to that by contacting their politicians or want to know why exactly is it that we're bailing out all these industries and we have so many people that are in dire straits financially for this student loan debt, for this, credit card debt, okay? And so, I understand that he basically, said he was going to suspend interest on student loans. But, if you got a $150,000 student loan, why not just forgive those loans? If you know this is a pandemic, you want to make sure you help those individuals that really need the help. I promise you, alleviating or eliminating someone's student loan, government debt, these predatory credit card debt. I don't care about the corporate debt because that debt there is already, they do that themselves. And so they can get out of their debt, simply by just letting the Federal Reserve do a repo, and then they can just go get financing from banks, right? So corporate debt to me is something that's, they do it themselves from greed purposes. How can you have debt when you have all these billions and millions of dollars that you just buy back into your own company, not increase the wages of your workers? I just read a story on the wire about Whole Foods. Actually, instead of them saying they're going to take care of their employees' sick leave, Whole Foods Market are encouraging their employees to sell or give their sick leave to their fellow co-workers. Now, this is a Fortune 500 company that's making millions of dollars. Why wouldn't you just accommodate your employees? You wouldn't you wouldn't have the status you had if it wasn't for the employees. So this notion that, and I guess you thought you were going to get props for it, that you would encourage your employees to, swap or give their sick leave to their coworkers is ridiculous. So corporate debt, to me, I have no empathy or sympathy for. But the fact that there is no sympathy for student loan debt and credit card debt for families, even though you know that the government is going to continue to get paid, and you know that these banks that are giving out all these credit cards will continue to get paid. If you want to do something that you're going to actually help someone or help the masses of people across the board, eliminate predatory lending, eliminate these credit card companies, issuing credit cards 10, 15, 20, 25% interest. That's ridiculous, And so I just want to say, it's just, they dip into our pockets once again. The airlines and the cruise industry will be bailed out. And so while we're going to the store and making all these unnecessary purchases, this is information that's going to actually affect you in the long run. Because when your taxes go up or when you're not able to get certain things, it's going to be kind of crazy. You dig? So make sure you keep your eye on the prize, family. Like I said, once again, check your 401ks. And before I get out here, family, let me just give you a quick, brief lesson, a little food for thought about what exactly is a mutual fund and how exactly do people lose their money in the stock market when they have a 401k. Families basically works like this. You give your money to this company, okay? This company, in turn, gets your money and everybody else that give them money, and they'll take that money and they will invest it in the stock market, whether it be stocks, bonds, cash, okay? international stock market, domestic stock market, the global stock market, but your money and the monies of everybody else that this particular fund uh, is carrying, that money is being pretty much controlled by what they call a fund manager. And this fund manager takes all that money and he picks stocks, he picks bonds, he picks cash or currencies that he feels is going to increase the value of this mutual fund. So you guys can actually get a higher return on your money, which is called a rate of interest, or rate of return rather. Now, in the event that the stock market crashes, common sense tells you that your 401k is going to crash. So how do you protect yourself? Well, first of all, you make sure you try to put your money in a less risky situation. And how do you do that? If you're younger and you're in it for the long term, then of course you can just ride this out. But say if you're older, it's not something you want to ride out. So you want to try to go in and reallocate. These mutual funds can be what they call weighted in different assets. And if you want to find your own mutual fund, one of the things that you need to make sure you look for in a mutual fund is what they call the NAV, the net asset value. See, the net asset value is going to give you the real value of that particular mutual fund. For example, if this mutual fund is weighted with a lot of Microsoft, Netflix, the FANG stocks, overseas stocks, 80% stocks, maybe 20% bonds, and the stock market crash, then your net asset value every day is going to probably be affected. Okay? And how do you find the net asset value? The difference between mutual funds and stocks and bonds, well, mutual funds are only traded one time a day. You only know your net asset value of that fund at the end of the day. And so, for instance, when these companies purchase mutual funds in your name, you're using your money, or if you do it yourself, then what you need to basically do is if you buy it during the daytime before 4:30, then you're not going to know how much the net asset value of the mutual fund is until the end of the day. That's why it's important to do your research first. Because, see, the net asset value is basically the assets of the mutual fund minus the liabilities. So, for instance, if there's a huge sell-off in Microsoft, and your mutual fund is weighted heavily in Microsoft, that's going to affect your net asset value of that mutual fund. And so that's going to decrease the value. You don't want that. Okay? You want to make sure that when you get a mutual fund, that you get a discounted rate on it. So you want to get a mutual fund. So it's always good to try to do your research on that, family. Because remember, they dig into our pockets. And you're not going to be rich or you're not going to be financially wealthy by not investing. Just saving money is not going to do it. And that's not by chance. That's not by accident. All right? All right, well, family, like I said, I hope this food for thought resonates with you. Make sure you hit the like button. Please leave me a comment, whether good, bad, it's all love. But I'd like to hear your feedback and see what you feel about the things that are going on in the garden. And like I said, in the meantime, between time, may the Most High inside to bring you joy. And being with us out of 5,000.